Hello folks. Today I want to talk to you about the BVC Postman collection. If you haven't installed Postman in Google Chrome, please go check out that other video. Here we're going to assume you've got it installed and that we're going to just focus on the BVC collection. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Postman, Postman consists of a set of calls, a set of RESTful calls that you can make to a server. A collection is just a grouping of those, and then you can share those collections. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to show you a collection that we're building that you can just import into your Postman and begin to use to exercise BVC. And I'm going to show you how to install that now. Okay, so the first thing to do is open Postman. So I'm going to click on Postman over here in the right corner, and then we're going to focus on the collection. So we're going to click that tab, and then you can import several different ways. We're going to focus on download from a link, but we need the link. So let me open my browser. I'm going to go to github.com. Then I'm going to do a search for BVC. And the very first one should be the Brocade Viatic controller. We're going to go there, and then we're going to pick the wiki link. And then we're going to pick pages in the upper right corner, and then we're going to pick RESTconf tools. The RESTconf tools is where we're storing a bunch of tools, and one of them is the Postman collection. I'm picking the 1.20. I'm going to grab the URL for that, only the URL. And I'm just going to paste the URL in there and say import. And sure enough, if you look over here, we now have a collection. Okay, so now let's actually set up our environment for this. So if you're like me, you're excited, you've got a new collection, you're just going to go ahead and try one out. So you're going to open up one of these folders, you're going to pick one of these calls, and you're going to hit send. And you're going to get a big fat failure. And you're going to say, what the heck, why is that? And you're going to look and you're going to see that, oh, what's this thing? There's no IP address. It's got some weird thing. It's called a variable, and we need to set up a variable that contains the IP address of the target BVC. So we're going to grab the name of that variable. We're going to copy it. And then over here under environments, we're going to actually manage environments, and we're going to create a new environment and call it BVC. I'm going to call it BVC in VirtualBox to differentiate it. I'm going to paste in the name of the variable, and then I'm going to put the IP address of my BVC. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then over here, I'm going to select that. And now when I check the details and I click send, it actually works. Okay, so now you've actually imported the Postman collection for BVC, and you've set up your environment variable. We're good to go. So our Postman collection is organized into folders that group RESTful calls that are similar together. So here's one for topology, and you see we have a get topology. Each one of these actually has a description there that describes it, and then you can click send and you will actually see the results from this, assuming you've got your environment variable set to point to your BVC. Let's look at another folder here, controller flow programming. You can see that the first call allows us to add a flow. It also indicates what you would need to change if you need to change anything. So right there on the URL, you'd have to change the table if you wanted to. We click send and it says, oh, there's a 200 OK. So we have successfully created that flow. So let's go down to, and there's a get the flows from a specific table. If we click that, you can see, oh, there's the flow that we just created. So we can validate that we just did, in fact, create that flow on our BVC. Here's an inventory, so you can do a get configured inventory that describes what this will do. You can go ahead, after you read that, you can go ahead and click send and see the results. And sure enough, there's your inventory. You can see that earlier I'd configured a couple of vRouters, and then there's the OpenFlow, the OpenFlow switch, which is a mininet switch I've got connected here. You can do get in operational inventory. So remember, there's a configured database and a operational. It configures what you've told it. The operational is what it actually has detected. And so we can go ahead and do that. And the next one, there's a bunch of other folders here that you can check out. So here's controller operations and RPCs. You can see, if we poke around in here, we see a bunch of gets. Here's one for netconf devices. You'll see a bunch of posts. You'll also see posts that begin with RPC and may indicate unimplemented. Those indicate that they are real, but currently they are not yet implemented on Open Daylight or BVC. They will be in the future probably, so we put them in here to let you know these do exist, and you can see they actually return an intelligent message, which is that operation is not yet supported. So now that you've got the collection, what next? Well, what next is just keep an eye out. We're constantly updating this collection, and you'll want to be able to upgrade it. That's a simple job of deletion and just re-importing, and you will get the latest and greatest.